Hey there, geeks and gamers, it's Jesse Milestone coming to you with some food for thought on this lovely day. Alright, we're going to take a little journey. We're going to take a little journey that skirts dangerously towards the realm of identity politics, but we're going to come out the other side unscathed, and in fact, very, very amused. So, bear with me, take this journey with me. The first thing we need to do is talk about this thing called cultural appropriation. Alright? Cultural appropriation. What is it? What isn't it? Alright, SJWs would have you believe that cultural appropriation is literally any time you do anything that relates to a culture that isn't yours. Oh, wait, unless it's another white culture that isn't yours, because apparently white culture can't be appropriated because we're all white, even though the SJWs are the ones who argue that there is no such thing as white culture and therefore white culture cannot be threatened. Which is it? You can't have it both ways. Either we're all the same people in the same culture and there's no fucking difference between us, therefore we can't steal from each other or hurt each other, right? Or there are multiple, many diverse white cultures, therefore there is no one thing that whiteness is, therefore our cultures can be appropriated from one another. Right? So that's one. I'm sure you guys have heard much about this. You know, we had the recent incident with the girl who wore the Chinese dress, the cheap how, to her prom, and everyone except Chinese people freaked out at her about it. Every year on Cinco de Mayo, somebody cries about how Mexicans are having their culture appropriated because stupid white guys are going out and getting drunk on the holiday. You know what I've never heard complain about that? Oh yeah, that's right, Mexicans. Actual Mexican bar and restaurant owners are friggin' thrilled for Cinco de Mayo for all the drunk white guys to buy stuff. Anyway, how does this relate to Star Wars, you might ask? It does. Hold on. Okay, so cultural appropriation, that's what it isn't. It's not that thing, right? There is an actual term, and this is one of the huge problems with, one of the many, many problems with SJWs, is that they've taken these terms that mean one thing, and they make them mean something else, and they make them go from an interesting thought niche to something horrible, like diversity, for example. Diversity used to mean representing different types of people and different schools of thought and different cultures. And now it means a whole bunch of people who think the exact same things but look different on the outside. Because as we all know, right, individuality is only skin deep. We all know the things that are most important about a person are the things that are on the surface, right? The things you can see, the visual separations based on, you know, the things that we're born with and can't therefore change. Those are the things that we should be separated and discriminated on the basis of, right? Right? Well, I don't know. That's what the SJWs are saying. That sounds weirdly like racism to me. But what the hell do I know? Anyway. We all know this. These are things we know. So let's talk a little bit about what culture means, right? What does it take to be part of a culture, one single culture? Is it your skin color? No. Your country of origin? Actually, no. Your what you do on the weekend? No. Maybe. But the culture is essentially, culture is a collection of ideas and traditions, language, art, music, whatever it is, a collection of these ideas and traditions that bonds a certain group of people together. I, for example, am Jewish. Would you have ever guessed that by looking at me? No. Nothing about me looks Jewish per se. Am I culturally Jewish? Heck yeah, I am. I love matzo ball soup. It's delicious. I like celebrating holidays because all of the Jewish holidays all involve getting really, really drunk. If you don't believe me, you can look it up. It is written in our holy scriptures. Anyway, but yeah, so that's a culture devised of many, many different looking people who don't all have to be from the same place, who don't all have to be from the same background. Sounds like, Star Wars fans, right? Star Wars fans, right? So right now, Star Wars fans, culture, right? That's a group of people that were all bonded over one certain thing, and a particularly marginalized culture, if I might add. I mean, we're talking about a group of people, like, being a nerd has only been cool, like, somewhat recently, and even then, it's not that cool. I mean, like, you still got a lot of nerd boys not getting laid out there, you know? I mean, it's still definitely, in terms of social groups and social status, is a very marginalized and demeaned group of people, right? Now, okay, so now back to cultural appropriation, right? And what it actually is. Because what it's not is, I borrowed something from your culture because I thought it was cool. Not what culture appropriation is. Culture appropriation is when you take something away from one group of people and you make it a bad thing you either take it away and say you can't have it anymore, right? Or take it and use it for your own devices, and then when they use it, tell them they're bad for doing it. Example, actual cultural appropriation that's not so great was, originally, like, black people invented rock and roll music, for example, right? And then it just became this total white person thing, and I was like, you guys don't do rock, and it became kind of stigmatized. Like Jimi Hendrix was always like treated like a white guy because he was the black dude doing rock and roll, right? So there's like, that is a thing that sort of happened probably. That's not cool. That's not that cool. Or another great one, of course, is like, you know, white chick going on a vacation to the Bahamas and coming back with cornrows and everything, like, oh my god, that's so cute, it looks so adorable on you, and then, you know, writing off a black person as being like a hoodlum or a bad person because they also have cornrows, right? That's, even though like their people kind of invented it. So like that's bad cultural appropriation, right? That's not cool. That's like, I'm gonna take something from you and you can't have it back, or it's bad when you do it. That's bad cultural appropriation. So now we have and this is, by the way, a thing that makes SJWs more upset than anything else in the world, right? Cultural appropriation. They lose their minds over this. They wet their bed over this. They cry beautiful, beautiful tears over this, right? And yet, what is The Last Jedi? Did you guess it? That's right. It's cultural appropriation. They have appropriated our culture. Now, this is not a new thing, right? Star Wars has been trickling into the mainstream since, you know, years after it came out. And, like, we let that happen. That's not cultural appropriation, it's cultural sharing. That's fine. You guys want to get into some of this nerd culture? Cool. It's cool to like Star Wars now? Great. Y'all don't nerd about it the way I nerd about it. Like, you didn't name your cats Han and Lando because those are the two people you most wanted to spend time with for the next, you know, however long my cats are going to be alive for, hopefully a long time, right? You're not deep in it like that. You don't have, you know, ice cube makers that make Han Frozen and Carbonite, but you like Star Wars, you enjoy it, you accept it, you call yourself a fan, you know, you'll go see the new movies. Fine, I don't mind sharing that with you. That's great. We can share that, right? This is still our thing, right? That's still, and for a long time, it's still very accepted. Star Wars, and like, there's people who like Star Wars, and there are people who like Star Wars, and that's our thing and our culture, and it bonds us. It makes us one people. It's a thing we can always come back to. We have shared stories. We have shared ideas. We have shared loves. We have shared music. We have shared art. It's a fucking culture. Sorry, I shouldn't be swearing this much. I'm trying not to. It's really hard. I have a lot of feelings, right? And what did The Last Jedi do? It took that from us, right? It ripped it away from us. And now they're sitting here telling us, you can't have it. You are bad for not liking how we've changed. You're not allowed to like this anymore. I had somebody tell me today, basically like, oh, if you don't like Star Wars, just stop watching it. I'm like, really? Really? What does Star Wars mean to you? Like, oh, you just go find another movie to watch. Like, really? I'm sorry, it's not that easy for me. Star Wars is not just another movie. If it's just another movie to you, why don't you shut up and make problems about someone else's franchise? Don't try to take this from me, because that's what you're doing. This is cultural appropriation, people. This is the bad kind of cultural appropriation. The kind that really exists and is bad, not the kind that SJWs care about, because apparently they only care about the kinds that make them feel good to yell about, right? But this is happening to us. They're taking this, and these are their own issues. This is what drives me up a freaking wall about SJWs, right? This is a thing that they claim to abhor. Taking something from other people, telling them it's not yours anymore, telling you that you're wrong and they're right, and now you're bad for liking the thing that you've always liked. That was your thing. This is our thing. And now we're being told that we're somehow evil for wanting it to continue to be our thing. This is exactly like, this is the exact kind of oppressive tactics that they claim the patriarchy is using all over the place to oppress this person, oppress that person, oppress this person. I'm sorry, I am a female person. I'm already a minority, and I'm still being marginalized and oppressed and silenced by these a-holes who like The Last Jedi. It's ridiculous. It's totally, I mean, but please, okay, the point is, go to an SJW and tell them that The Last Jedi is cultural appropriation, and explain it to them. Because, I promise you, nothing will make them lose it faster. Nothing ticks an SJW off like using their own language against them. So the next time you end up in a crazy Twitter battle, like the ones I keep seeming to get myself involved in, right, drop that bit of knowledge on them. Yeah, cultural appropriation. This is a culture. And if they want to come at you like, oh, because Star Wars culture is not and has never been always comprised of white people. It is a diverse culture based on race. So no, it's not a white person that we're taking away from white people. It is a group of marginalized people, a lot of whom, especially in the beginning, were bullied, were people who were bullied, were people who were attacked, were people who were marginalized in society, right? And this was their thing. This is the thing that bonded us, that kept us together, that gave people strength and gave people hope. I'm not even less talking about myself, and more a lot of people who came before me in the decades before, where it was even harder to be a geek, where it was even less accepted to be a nerd, right? And these people had it rough. We all know, like, one of the shittiest periods of your life is high school. Imagine what high school's like for when you're an outcast. High school sucks. And the one thing you had is Star Wars and other people who love Star Wars and this growing, deep, devout, passionate love for this beautiful thing that taught you so much about morality and life and the kind of person you wanted to be and the things that were important to you. And now we have people, the same people who say that taking anyone's culture, especially culture of people who've been categorically and systematically oppressed, is wrong, and that's exactly what they're doing. The hypocrisy never ends, and it's driving me up a friggin' wall. So next time you see someone talk about how The Last Jedi, oh, everyone who hates it is sexist, whatever, starts crapping all over the people who don't like the movies, you tell them, cultural appropriation. You're appropriating our culture, and now you're oppressing us as a result of it. Use their own language. Use their own friggin' language against them. Cultural appropriation. You guys are the oppressors. You guys are the bullies. Yeah, we are the goddamn victims. Not that we act like victims, because that's stupid, because that's not empowering. And that's part of why they sit here and keep coming at us. Oh, you guys clearly aren't victims. No. We are. We very much are. We're just not going to sit around and cry about it. We're going to go out there and do something about it, because that is what we do. All right, I had a lot of anger on this topic. I'm feeling very raw. I'm feeling much better now that I've expressed this all to you. So, yeah, let's hear what you guys, what do you think is the best way to get under their skin? What do you think of this plan? Let's go see it enacted. You guys are amazing. I'm so honored and thrilled to be going on the High Council next Tuesday night. I've been invited. I like it. Amazing. So hopefully I'll see you guys all there, and I'll see you again back here very, very soon.